Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Unstoppable. This is your calm space to learn English through real, honest conversations. A place where you don't need perfect grammar or fast answers. You just need to be here. I'm Maria.
And I'm John. We're really glad you're spending this time with us.
Before we begin, let me ask you something gentle. You don't need to answer out loud. You don't need to explain anything. Just notice how it feels inside. Have you ever had this moment? You're listening to English and everything makes sense. You understand the words. You follow the ideas. You even create a sentence clearly in your mind. But when it's your turn to speak, you pause. Your mouth stays quiet. Your thoughts feel busy. And the sentence you prepared so carefully doesn't come out.
That pause can feel uncomfortable. Not loud, not dramatic, just heavy.
And in that silence, many learners think one painful thought: there's something wrong with me. But today, we want to slow that thought down, because that quiet moment does not mean you don't know English.
John, I want to share something personal. There was a time when my English looked fine on paper. I could read articles. I could understand videos. I could even explain ideas clearly in my head. But when someone spoke to me directly, my mind didn't feel empty. It felt crowded.
Crowded is exactly the right word.
Yes, it wasn't that I had nothing to say. It was that too many thoughts appeared at the same time. One voice said, "Say it correctly." Another said, "Don't make a mistake." Another said, "They're waiting, hurry." And while all of that was happening, silence felt safer.
This experience is far more common than people admit. Many English learners are not beginners. They understand more than they speak. They listen carefully. They think deeply. But speaking feels different.
Because speaking feels visible.
Exactly. When you speak, you feel seen. And being seen can feel risky. You're no longer hidden behind listening or reading. Your voice is there, and with it comes fear. Fear of judgment, fear of mistakes, fear of sounding less intelligent than you really are.
Here's something important to understand. That silence you experience is not a language problem. It's a pressure problem.
Your brain isn't failing you, it's trying to protect you.
When the brain senses pressure, it looks for safety. And sometimes, staying quiet feels safer than saying something imperfect. Let's look closely at what actually happens in that moment. You are not just speaking English. You are translating ideas, checking grammar, choosing vocabulary, watching pronunciation, and judging yourself, all at the same time.
That's a lot of work for one sentence.
It is, and when the brain feels overloaded, it pauses. Not because you're weak, not because you're incapable, but because you're human.
Most people never explain this to learners. They simply say, practice more, be confident, don't be shy. But confidence does not grow under pressure.
Confidence grows in safe spaces.
Think about your native language. You don't plan every sentence. You don't monitor every word. You don't replay conversations again and again in your head. You simply speak.
Because there is no fear attached.
In English, fear quietly enters the room. It changes how the brain works. It makes simple thoughts feel heavy. It turns small pauses into big doubts. And slowly, you start believing the problem is you. So if you've ever blamed yourself for staying quiet, let's gently change that story. That pause is not failure. It is your mind asking for gentleness.
And gentleness is something most learners never give themselves.
Here, in this space, we don't rush you. We don't demand perfect sentences. We don't expect fast answers. We believe language grows best when the mind feels calm. And if today all you do is recognize yourself in these words, that is already progress. Let's stay with this feeling for a moment. That quiet pressure that appears before you speak. Because understanding it changes everything. When the mind feels rushed, language feels heavy. But when the mind feels calm, words begin to move again, slowly and naturally.
Not perfect words, honest words.
And honest words are always enough. Many learners believe fluency means speed. They think speaking English well means answering quickly, never pausing, never searching for words. But real communication is not a race. It's not about finishing sentences fast. It's about being understood and feeling present.
Connection matters more than speed.
Pauses are part of real speech. Native speakers pause. They repeat themselves. They change sentences in the middle. They think while speaking. But learners often feel they are not allowed to pause, as if silence automatically means failure. Let's gently change that idea. A pause can be a breath. A pause can be thinking. A pause can be clarity. Silence does not mean your English disappeared. It means your brain is organizing itself.
And that's normal.
Here is a small shift that helps many learners. Instead of building a long sentence in your head, try starting small. Very small. Use simple openings. I think. I feel. I'm not sure, but. These phrases create space. They slow the moment down. They tell your brain that it doesn't need to rush.
They give you time.
And time creates calm. When you give yourself time, you don't panic. You don't force words. You allow them to arrive. You don't need to say everything at once. You can speak in pieces. One idea, then another. Conversation is not a performance. It's a shared moment between people. Another quiet truth that often surprises learners. People are not listening to your English as closely as you think. They are usually thinking about their own response. They are planning their next sentence, just like you.
Everyone is busy inside their own head.
Exactly. When we stop imagining judgment, we create space to speak. And space is where language grows. Have you noticed that English feels easier when you are alone? When you speak to yourself, or think out loud, or practice quietly? The words come more smoothly. There is less fear. That tells us something important.
The language is already there.
Yes, the challenge is not learning more words. The challenge is feeling safe enough to use the words you already know. Safety changes how the brain works. When you feel safe, you don't overthink every sound. You don't freeze at every mistake. Safety comes from permission. Permission to speak slowly. Permission to sound like a learner. Permission to make mistakes without punishment. You are learning a language. You are allowed to struggle. That is not weakness. That is the process.
Every fluent speaker was once a learner.
Think about a child learning to speak. They pause. They repeat. They say things wrong. They don't apologize. They don't feel ashamed. They try again. And slowly, language becomes natural. As adults, we forget how to learn gently. We expect fast results. We expect ourselves to sound confident immediately. And when we don't, we become harsh with ourselves. That harshness creates pressure, and pressure creates silence.
Language does not grow under pressure. Not perfect words, honest words.
It grows under trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, trust that speaking imperfectly is still speaking. So today, instead of pushing yourself harder, try softening. Say one sentence, then pause. Breathe. Let the next thought come. That is still progress. That is still learning. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to prove anything. You are not late. You are not broken. You are simply learning something new. And learning takes time.
And time is allowed.
If English feels heavy sometimes, that doesn't mean you are failing. It means you are carrying too many expectations. Put some of that weight down. Let speaking feel human again. Not like an exam, not like a test, but like a moment shared between people. When you allow yourself to be slow, you allow yourself to be real. And real communication is always more powerful than perfect sentences.
And that's where confidence quietly begins.
Not in speed, not in perfection, but in permission. By now, you might notice that quiet pressure inside you, the one that appears just before speaking. That feeling isn't a mistake. It's a signal. A signal that your brain is working, organizing, and preparing you. The more you notice it without judgment, the more it loses its weight.
Every sentence doesn't need to be perfect. Every thought doesn't need to be fully formed. You're allowed to explore, to wander, to try. And that's exactly how real English grows, through moments, not tests.
Sometimes, learners think they must speak in full sentences, with every word polished and precise. But language actually grows in the small, quiet moments. Moments when you notice a word, a sound, a phrase, and let it settle. That's how confidence begins. Quietly, gently, inside you.
And those small moments add up faster than you think. One thought leads to another. One word opens a door, and then a sentence forms naturally.
Here's a gentle practice you can try. When thinking of a sentence, start small, very small. Use beginnings like, I think, I feel, I wonder. These openings are invitations for your brain. They say, it's okay to start, even if I'm not finished yet.
It's like letting your thoughts walk before they run.
Exactly. And while you do this, notice your breathing. Your chest rises. Your shoulders soften. Your mind releases tension. Language becomes easier when your body feels calm, when your mind feels safe. Pauses are not emptiness. They are space. Space for words. Space for ideas. Space for you. Every pause is a part of the conversation. Every pause is learning.
And when you stop fearing silence, speaking becomes lighter, more natural, more joyful. It feels alive.
Think about moments when you speak with someone you trust. You pause, you laugh, you repeat, you clarify. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels alive. That's the model for learning English. Real conversations, not exams. Real thoughts, not rehearsed lines. Here's another truth that surprises learners. Mistakes are not failure. They are evidence that you are stretching, proof that you are alive in the language, exploring, daring. Each wrong word is actually a step forward, not backward.
Every fluent speaker has a trail of mistakes behind them. Every learner does. It's part of the journey, part of growth.
So when you notice yourself hesitating or saying the wrong word, pause, smile, breathe. That pause is not shame. It is courage. It is language organizing itself. It is learning in motion. Another important shift, instead of chasing perfect sentences, focus on connection. Focus on being present. Focus on curiosity. When you speak with curiosity, you speak with joy. You speak with life. And that energy carries your words further than perfection ever could.
Connection transforms hesitation into confidence, silence into space, pressure into play, and every small attempt becomes a step forward.
By now, you may feel a little lighter. Your pauses are not enemies. Your words are not judged. Your mind is allowed to flow. And with each calm moment, you are speaking English more freely, more naturally, more beautifully. Think about the last time you spoke English without rushing. Maybe it was in your room. Maybe it was in a quiet conversation. Notice how your words arrived, how your ideas came together slowly, naturally. That's your mind at its best, learning without pressure.
Every moment you speak, even imperfectly, is proof of growth. Every pause is a teacher. Every thought is a guide.
So today, remember this. Your voice matters. Your pauses matter. Your courage matters. You are learning. You are growing. And every quiet, small step you take is real progress. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to prove anything. You are not late. You are not broken. You are simply learning something new. And learning always takes time.
And time is allowed. Every step counts. Every pause counts. Every thought counts.
When English feels heavy, that doesn't mean you are failing. It means you are carrying too many expectations. Let some of that weight go. Let speaking feel human again, not like an exam, not like a test, but like a shared moment, like a conversation. When you allow yourself to be slow, you allow yourself to be real. And real communication is always more powerful than perfect sentences. And that's where confidence quietly begins. Not in speed, not in perfection, but in permission, in gentleness, in curiosity. And that's exactly where you are today. By now, you've noticed something beautiful happening inside. Your pauses feel lighter. Your words are arriving more naturally. You've allowed your mind and body to cooperate instead of competing. That's real progress.
And notice, every time you speak, even in small pieces, you're building trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your process, trust in English itself.
Let's think about conversation for a moment. It's not a race. It's a dance. Sometimes one partner leads, sometimes the other. Sometimes you pause to listen. Sometimes you repeat. That rhythm, that flow, is what real language feels like.
And that rhythm doesn't come from speed or perfection. It comes from comfort, from space, from allowing yourself to be human in the moment.
Many learners forget this. They think fluency means rushing through words or never hesitating. But fluency grows from stillness, from listening, from noticing, from speaking with curiosity instead of judgment. So today, let's celebrate your pauses, your small sentences, your quiet courage. Every I think and I feel is a seed growing into confidence. Every hesitant step is a step forward.
And those seeds grow faster than you realize. The more you allow space, the more naturally your language blooms.
Here's something to notice. People listening to you are rarely judging your English. They're usually thinking of their own sentences, their own pauses, their own hesitations, just like you. That means most of the pressure is in your head, and realizing that lifts a weight off your shoulders.
That realization is freeing. Suddenly, speaking doesn't feel like a test. It feels like sharing.
And that's exactly where real communication begins. When you speak freely, without fear. When your curiosity leads, not your judgment. When you notice what you want to say, instead of worrying about what you think you should say. Another tip: reflection is part of progress. After speaking, notice what felt right, what surprised you, what was joyful. Reflection is not criticism, it's fuel. It's how language grows naturally.
Each reflection strengthens your confidence. Each small success compounds. Every tiny victory reminds your brain, I can do this.
By now, you may notice your mindset has shifted. The fear has softened, the pressure has eased, and that space you created for yourself, that is where English feels alive, free, and natural. So let's tie this together. Pauses are your friends. Hesitations are invitations. Mistakes are proof you are stretching. Words are not judged harshly, they are shared and understood. Your voice matters. Your curiosity matters. Your presence matters.
And the magic happens not when you speak perfectly, but when you allow yourself to speak fully, calmly, gently, with intention.
So today, instead of rushing, instead of forcing perfection, try this. Say one sentence. Pause. Breathe. Listen to yourself. Say another. Pause. Smile. Notice. Enjoy the moment. Every pause, every word, every attempt, all of it counts as real progress. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are learning. You are growing. You are alive in the language. And that is beautiful.
Every learner has been here. Every fluent speaker has walked this path. Every pause, every small sentence, every hesitant word has brought them to where they are now.
And that's exactly where you are today. Allow yourself time. Allow yourself space. Allow yourself joy. And watch your English grow naturally, beautifully, and powerfully. Now, I have a question for you. What small step will you take today to speak more freely in English? Write it down or share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your experience.
And if you want to continue this journey, don't stop here. Click on our next video to keep practicing, to explore more tips, and to feel even more confident in English.
That's right. This video may end here, but your learning doesn't have to. We'll see you in the next video. Keep speaking, keep pausing, keep enjoying every moment.